So welcome back everybody to another video blog here from Effingham Golf Club. Hopefully we might start playing 18 holes next week, which I'm sure some of you really look forward to and appreciate. So slowly we're coming out of this lockdown and trying to get some normality back. Yet again, thank you to the marshals, all still doing a sterling job out here on the course. So what's the hot topic this week? Well, it's the heat, that big bright sunshine. Even though it's great to be out, it's great to be outdoors while it's like this, it does play havoc with our playing surfaces. As you're all aware, I'm currently stood here at the 15th, the scene of the last drought we had in 2018, one of the fairways that really did suffer, as we all know, with 17 and 18 as well. We could end up in the same position at this rate unless we start seeing some proper rain. But we do have the ability to water. We don't have the ability obviously to water these fairways, but we do have the ability to water greens, tees, surrounds and approaches, as you're well aware, and that's what we've been doing a lot of just lately. We have a very modern irrigation system, computer controlled, and it sips water rather than drinks water, so we're very water efficient when it comes to it. To help this, we add additives into our waters, which I'll talk about later on. And our pH, as I've said already, is very important to us. So we actually inject a product called Drought, which is a form of acid, into our water that brings the pH to 7, which is, as talked about in a previous video, how important the pH is. So here we are now. So we're in this this drought time. The grass starts getting stressed. Our soils start to go in hydrophobic. Which isn't good. It means they go so dry that even if it did rain, the water wouldn't penetrate down into the soil straight away. It's a very natural thing. It's the plant goes into a dormant state. It produces a waxy coating, so does the soil. So actually when water does hit it, it goes cohesive. So it actually ends up as droplets and it's not adhesive, so it doesn't actually soak in. So hydrophilic is how we like our soils. That means they will take water in straight away. We don't like them when they become hydrophobic, as they are getting at the moment. So we can get around this. We can use products called wetting agents, surfactants, or wetting agents as you all know them. They're a form of type of soap in their basic form, but there's an awful lot of science involved in these things. They end up as polymers. They can act on cationic and ionics in the soil, so they put positive charge in, which pulls particles apart on a microscopic level, and that's what lets the water in. There's wetting agents, there's penetrants as well. So a wetting agent is what we use mainly all on the greens because we've already got them wet enough. They're not hydrophobic. So a wetting agent will just help keep the pores open and let us get the water where we want it. You get somewhere like the fairways now, you know, the 15th fairway, here we are. This would need a penetrant more. So we'd have to get something that would go deep into the soil. There's a video coming up showing you how effective a penetrant is. It's not just the soils that can get this hydrophobic problem. Sands will as well. Look at the bunker, there's a bunker behind me, fairway bunker. In these conditions, they dry out. The soil, the sand particles cling together. They can form almost a soft concrete. Very difficult to break up even with rakes. So, you know, you'll go in there, you'll swear there's no sand in there because they are rock hard compared to the greenside bunkers, which are soft and fluffy and as you expect them. That's because we can water the greenside bunkers. We cannot water these fairway bunkers. That would cost many thousands of pounds just in hardware to fit irrigation around them. Then we'd have the problem of having enough water to irrigate them. It would be an absolute luxury to be able to irrigate our fairway bunkers, and one, even if you had the capital to invest into it, who's saying we'll be allowed to have the water in the future? So it could be a lot of money wasted. So the only way we can get these bunkers consistent is to water them, and it's very difficult to do that. So that's why the fairway bunkers go rock hard. The particles actually bind together, the fines lock into the larger particles and form like a soft concrete. As I've said, it does break up when it starts raining eventually, but they will go soft again, and the bunkers will all become consistent. So I've got a video coming up now how a penetrant works, which is quite interesting to see the effectiveness for these things. But we also have the issue of the thatch in the fairways, and this is what causes the browning out. We've been addressing this just lately over recent years, using a company to come in who verticut, take the thatch out. We talked about thatch already, how detrimental it is to to the playing surfaces, and it's so important we get the thatch out these fairways. Once we get the thatch out, they will have a more sporting chance of surviving droughts. We're on chalk, remember, we get a capillary action. The chalk holds an awful lot of water. Times like these, on the true chalk fairways we have, they're the ones that survive droughts really well. These lower fairways, we've got a little bit of clay underneath them, these are the ones that suffer in drought. So we're trying to address that as a club, and that's going to be an ongoing process, but we are committed to work on these fairways and see if we can get them back into good playing condition as soon as possible. So we'll just go on to another couple of little videos and just explain about wetting agents and how they work and how they're made up. Take care. So these are a couple of wetting agent products we use. The one on the right, the Evolve, that is actually a that's just a wetting agent, so it will hang around in the soil a little bit longer, break down that surface tension and take that hydrophobic soil into hydrophilic soil, so the water will penetrate through. And the product on the left hand side, Penetrant AR, it's just a trade name for it, that is actually, they call them strippers, it's not quite the term you should use, but basically that will just strip down the surface tension straight away. The water will penetrate deep into the surface. If you've got a real problem with hydrophobic soils down deep, you will use the product on the left, where the product on the right, that is what we will use mainly now. We haven't actually on our greens and our watered areas got that much hydrophobic areas. We've not let them got that bad that we need to use the Penetrant. We can just use the wetting agent, which is the one on the right. So this is going to be the video to show you the difference between just plain water and one with a penetrant in it, just here at the second fairway. Of course, looking very summery indeed. Right, so this is just the plain water. You can see it's just basically running off. It's not soaked in at all. And then this is water with a penetrant in it. You see that? Straight away. And if we come back to this side, if we can get it, but the water is still balling up and running off. But then if we pour sinks in straight away. So that's the difference when you add just a few drops, and that's all there is, just a few drops of penetrant added, or wetting agent added to water. That's the difference it makes. It's very, very effective product indeed. So from that last video there, you can see the power of the penetrants and the wetting agents. And here's Darren, we're on the third tee. This is another way of applying wetting agents. This is with the hose pipe. We call it high spot watering. We don't always want to go out and coat the whole green. We don't need to. There's just areas like this at the third tee at the moment where we just want to get the dry areas or bits of new seeded areas as we've got here. So we use a hose pipe. On the end of that hose pipe, if I can get round to Darren, not too close, you see he's got a gun, and in that gun he will have one of these. This is a wetting agent pellet. It's like a soap bar basically. That goes into the gun, and under the pressure the water slowly erodes away, and it does this. It will leave a foam on the surface. That will soak in, and that will, no different to what we saw in the last video, the penetrant and the wetting agents, that will now just soak straight into the ground. So every drop of water is completely used where we want it. It's a very, very good way of targeting areas. I hope you've enjoyed that video. It's a very small step into a very technical subject, but you can see we do our best to use the water here. Looking up at the third there, now you see we're just drying out, and obviously the reservoir over there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheerio.